Hello learners of BA Honours Part 3, Paper 6. Topic: A Heart of the Matter. We'll be dealing with Book 2, Part 2 and 3. Harris and Wilson have shifted their residence and come to know that their neighbors are Mrs. Helen Rolt, Clive, Bowling, and Major Scobie, who lives just down the road. We find Wilson in a state of disgust for leading a life of lie and deception. He does admit that his profession has taken on his private moments as well. He comes out in the porch and finds Scobie walking around. Scobie says he could not sleep, so is out for a walk. Wilson is convinced, in fact, not convinced, and finds him a novice in the field of deceit. Knowing well that he is lying, he has a sense of pity for his awkwardness. In his office, we find Wilson trying to negotiate between his boy and Yusuf's boy to extract knowledge about Yusuf and Scobie. Later, Wilson visits a brothel more out of curiosity than out of lust. He senses that in this place, that is, in the brothel, a man's color did not matter, though he was a white man. Still, it did not matter there. They were all treated equally in that place. He felt a sense of hatred within of those who had brought him here. Scobie and Helen are engaged in a conversation which reminds us of the talk between Louise and Scobie. There is a similarity between them. A strong element of weariness has set in. It is the same accusation that Scobie does not love her, while he protests and assures that he indeed loves her. Helen is frustrated that Catholic faith does not permit him to divorce Louise, whereas it does allow him to continue with the extramarital affair. Eventually, Helen asks Scobie to leave the hut, and he comes back to his residence and writes a letter to Helen. He apologizes for the fight and proclaims that he loves her more than his wife. In fact, he writes, in fact, more than God Himself. Now, this last part moves him. He's surprised. How could he write that? So, the last part moves him, yet he goes with it and slides the note under her door. Soon he meets Father Rank and they have a drink together. Father finds how dreary and hopeless Scobie has become, but he blames the rainy season for his state of mind. To Scobie's surprise, he finds a note from Wilson stating that he had come to his office, which is strange because the sergeant is supposed to inform the office of his visit. Then Scobie confesses to the commissioner that he has taken a loan from Yusuf. Now it is clear as crystal that Wilson is a spy and he has been spying the police officers on charges of corruption, including Scobie. And the commissioner tells him that Wilson has targeted him and Yusuf as villains of choice. After leaving the meeting, Scobie thinks of forgetting Helen, going to the church, confessing, and then back to a virtuous life. Instead, reluctantly, he visits Helen, who is very excited to see him back. Scobie is aghast that she did not receive the note written by him, and in his heart of hearts knows that their secret affair is out. Scobie returns home and finds Louise's telegram stating that she has realized her mistake, she loves him, and is returning home. He feels overwhelmed and sorry, nauseous and is unable to pray that night. He wonders whether he should commit suicide as he is responsible for the happiness of two people. So the happiness of two people lies in his hand, and he is totally flustered. Scobie knows well that suicide is a venial sin, yet he thinks that even God at times breaks his own laws. He enters a few lines in his diary, trying to distract himself. The next day, his mind is consumed by the details of the telegram. Nothing can steer him clear from the thoughts of Louisa's message. Fellows invites him to dinner that night, and he is surprised to find Helen as a guest invitee. Dr. Sykes, Wilson, and Fellows start discussing Pemberton's suicide as a case. Scobie thinks, quote, through 2000 years, we have discussed Christ's agony in just this disinterested way. Unquote. Helen feels disgusted and asks them not to discuss the case. Scobie tells Helen about the telegram, which results in a heated argument and, in reaction, shatters her glass of beer. When Wilson comes to see what happened, she jokes bitterly that they, that is, Scobie and she, are engaged in a scene of unbridled passion and requests him to drop her home. On returning home, Scobie finds Yusuf there, asking him to deliver a parcel to the captain of the ship Esperanza, on refusing which he threatens to blackmail him with a letter written to Helen, if need arises. So now we know why that letter goes missing, because it has already been passed over to Yusuf. Scobie has no choice but to comply with Yusuf's demand. He eventually delivers the packet to the captain, and on catching his reflection in the mirror, finds pitiful expression writ large on it. He wonders, am I really one of those whom people pity? So this is to be continued in the next session. Thank you.